Hey, this is your Athens, Georgia County weather girl here tonight to talk with you about the weather. And it is, I hope you're enjoying this balmy mid 40s weather we'll have, and we had today, and we'll have a little bit tomorrow, because it's going to be the warmest weather we experience for a little bit, for several days, if not, a week or so out. And as we know, we have a winter storm that's approaching us right now. It's actually on the ground right now. We're starting to see reports in Texas, and we'll look at that in just a minute. So this system is on its way to us, and we've been hemming and hawing, just because of the nature of this system. It is, when we talk about a generational ice storm, whether or not that ice storm is generational for us in our area, it's going to be generational for folks further up north for sure. It's a once in a lifetime kind of event for a lot of people because of the nature of the high pressure system up in north is just extraordinarily strong and large and powerful. And then we have the surface low tracking in from the desert southwest right now, tracking in across the southern states. And so we just don't get these setups very often, and because we don't have a lot of this kind of activity happen, the models have just really not done, they're not as well equipped to be able to predict and foresee what's going to happen with those types of setups. Even the AI models, they just don't have that much information on these. So it's just one of the nature of weather itself. It's, slightly unpredictable. And, we do our best to try and foresee what's going to happen a week out. It's unlike medical sciences, where you have advances and all kinds of nanotechnology and gene splicing and things, and but with weather, we're still it's literally, it's going to rain next week, maybe it'll snow next week, and you'd think that our forecasting abilities would have also gone a similar trajectory, but it's not. Weather is very complicated, and it's also anxiety. Right, it's very anxiety provoking for sure for a lot of, even for me as someone who loves weather. This event has been very, very anxiety provoking, and I'm exhausted mentally. I'm kind of mentally exhausted, but I'm here, and I'm hoping my videos and posting on Reddit has been helpful, and just learning a little bit about and kind of learning with us as we look at this extraordinary system. All right, so we are looking at the HRRR model right now. This is one of the best short-range models. It's very very accurate in the 24-hour range. So we're definitely we're not going to be looking so much at our global models anymore for this particular system, like the GFS and the Euro and the Icon. We're not going to be really paying too much attention. And we might look a little bit at the GFS, but certainly by tomorrow, we're going to be HRRR, NAM3K for surface temps and so on. Those will be the tools that I use when I get up in the morning and I look and see what the weather is going to be like that day. I will definitely be relying heavily on this HRRR as well as the NAM3K, as well as also looking at radar and finding out where these systems are. So that's what we're going to look at right now. This is HRRR. So we see this is at 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and we start to see some precipitation build into Mississippi and Alabama, a little bit of snow in the very top portions of those states and Tennessee. So that band of precipitation, according to HRRR, is going to kind of start drifting a little bit kind of northeasterly, as though it's just going to start hugging up the west side of the Appalachians. When we talk about the cold air damming, that ridge of the Appalachian Mountains there, all the cold air coming down the side of this Appalachian Mountain range, all the way down here and then through South Carolina into Georgia, that will definitely be a driver of how we experience this system tomorrow and Sunday. But we can see here that this low pressure system is going to actually start and want to hug up the left-hand side or the west side of the Appalachian Mountains. So just something interesting that I've been seeing here. Okay, and with this track, a lot of that moisture is going to go with this low pressure system and start cutting across. But we are going to have moisture build into our area again, probably later tomorrow night around 9 o'clock or around 10 o'clock. And initially that precipitation might start out as a cold rain. Again, we don't know how strong the cold air damming effect is going to be. That's driving some of that cold air down the east coast to us. If it's very strong, we could see that frozen rain build in sooner. If it's not as strong, then I think it's going to be strong, though. With the nature of the high pressure system we're dealing, I think it's going to be significantly strong to cause some freezing rain. So we start to see some freezing rain build into our area around 12 a.m. Tomorrow night. It's going to continue freezing rain throughout the overnight hours up until honestly around 9 o'clock or so in the morning, because it'll start tapering off a bit. Now, as we see, that low pressure system is going to be right over smack dab in the middle of Tennessee. And so this is where it's kind of cutting up the west side of the Appalachians, like I mentioned before. It's just kind of like, it's thinking it's taking, I mean, because I think it's kind of taking the path of least resistance. It thinks that going up the West Apps is going to be where it's the easiest way for it to go. That's one train of thought. So that low pressure system is going to go that way. And with it, it's going to bring a lot of that really warm, moist air. And that's why you're seeing a lot of rain around it rather than snow and so on. As it's just dragging all that nice the warmer air from the Gulf. Okay, so and right behind this, it's going to cause a squall line to develop as it continues pushing eastward. And this squall line is going to pass through our area around 3 or 4 o'clock on Sunday. And what's bonkers about this, and I wish I could kind of zoom in a little bit better and show you what is completely bonkers about this, is you see the squall line, you see these really bright red areas. Those are areas of very, very heavy convection, very heavy. So you could potentially see, possibly even some thunder and lightning in these systems. And what's just bananas is that we have these areas of pink right here over where Athens is. So in these dark splotches of purple, that is like extraordinarily heavy rates of freezing rain. It's just crazy. We might actually have thunder freezing rain tomorrow, or rather Sunday, which is just bananas. Okay, so that may or may not happen. This is definitely one idea that the HRRR is thinking is going to happen. The other talked about option for this low pressure system as it moves in here across Louisiana, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi is going to be for it to track a more kind of west to east across Mississippi, Alabama, and when it gets into the Alabama-Georgia line, then it starts cutting up and going on the east side of the Appalachian Mountains. So if that were the case, it would wind up being we would still get wintry weather, but it would be a little different look than we would instead of getting freezing rain, where there's a lot of warm air application, a lot of like warmer air near the surface, and it's going to melt and then land on stuff and freeze. If it goes directly to us and cuts up the east side of the Alps, the prevailing thought is that we would have more sleet because there would be more cold air in place at that point. So if that happens, sleet is preferable to freezing rain, like every single time. So you can always push sleet off the road with equipment, and you can salt and brine it. Sleet also is going to bounce off of tree limbs. It's not going to like land there and freeze and thicken up as we would be dealing with freezing rain. Right now, though, it's looking like that we would be dealing with more freezing rain according to the HRRR. So that's a look at the current modeling data for tomorrow. So just to kind of recap, we start building in some freezing rain tomorrow night around 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock or so at night. It would continue freezing rain throughout the morning hours until around 8 or 9 or so. And then later in the afternoon on Sunday, we would have an actual squall line move through the area with potentially more freezing rain in a squall line with potentially thunder. That's kind of wild. Let's take a look at the current radar and find out what's happening over in Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas right now. So we're going to go over and take a look at Wonder Map. This is this is actually not the site I want to use. There we are. Here's Wonder Map. I love Wonder Map. It's one of my favorites for looking at radar data. So this is a current radar view right now. This is over Oklahoma, and we see there's a ton of snow right now over in Oklahoma and building into Little Rock, Arkansas. And in Dallas right now, there's probably a little mix of some, and I can't do soundings on this. I'm pretty sure I can't. It's not that kind of radar, so you can't really see what's happening at the surface or whatever. But I'm pretty sure this right here, this green right here and this pink right here is going to be a mixture of cold rain and freezing rain. We see the temperature right here on the surface is 33 degrees. Over here it's 29 degrees. So you've got a bunch of cold air pushing in south and southeastward. So that's a current radar view right now. I wonder if I can like slide this little thing over. Let's see. it seems to be somewhat locked up right now, which is all right. It's all good. Okay, well, I'm not sure if I can't really drag this over anymore to look and see, unless I can maybe refresh the whole site, and we'll look together. Okay, let's go temperature, and let's go to, I'll kind of go a little bit right over here, and we'll go precipitation, radar. There we are. Okay, so this is a radar view right now. Let's see if I can, yes, I can move this around. All right, so we have snow over Little Rock, and then we have some freezing rain and snow building in the Mississippi. In the very north there, it looks like some snow's about to enter Memphis. Yeah, so that's it. So that's where our current radar is looking right now. And again, overnight, this is going to continue filtering over eastward, and in the early morning hours, we might start to see some of that precip enter into Georgia. So that's a look at our current radar right now. That'll probably be the last video I do for tonight. Tomorrow I'll be doing, when I wake up in the morning, what I always do is I go out to the Pivotal, look at the different models right now, and I'll be looking specifically at the HRRR and NAM3K models as well as radar. So I'll be looking at all these sites, and I'll come up with where we are and seeing how we kind of are going to progress through the day. But again, unless something radically changes overnight, we are looking at starting to get some of that freezing rain build into Athens in the later night hours around 8, 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So I hope you've been preparing for this to the best that you can. I feel like I am personally not prepared for it. I'm I'm personally on well water, so like if the power goes out, I don't have the ability to get water out of my well, and that's gonna. I too am also feeling very anxious about the system and the potential for losing power. I want to also just say that like it's okay to like be overwhelmed with this. I feel like I'm like literally overwhelmed with like the prospect of not having power for a week and a half or whatever, and you know worrying about how I'm going to charge my devices and like how to stay warm and all that. It's normal to feel that kind of anxiety. It's okay. It's also good to be and healthy to know your boundaries and know that hey, this is looking at this weather is causing more harm than good, and it's okay at that time to like go ahead and like disconnect from monitoring the weather and to pull back and just take care of yourself, because weather's always going to be here. It's going to happen. If you remember, you don't remember, I do. Way back when I was a child and here in Athens in 1973, and we had the big ice storm of January 1973. We didn't have internet back then. We didn't have social media. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have goofballs like myself on there explaining the weather and kind of letting you know what was coming. Like you had weather people who would tell you that, oh, we might have some snow, we might have some sleet or whatever. But like the forecasts back then were very rudimentary and not very sophisticated and probably nowhere as good as what we have today. So my point with all that is that it will be okay. You don't necessarily have to be on top of all the weather. It's going to happen. You'll be okay. The only difference is, in the summertime when you have like storms and all, being aware that there could be tornadoes or there's tornadoes on the ground approaching you. Those are a completely different kind of threat. But this is not that kind of threat. It's going to be cold. We were without power for a week and a half. And I honestly, it may have been 2 weeks. I was a small kid. And we had no power, we had no heat, no TV. I don't know what we did all day. We probably sat around and played games. We weren't really allowed to go outside because of the tree limbs cracking and falling to the ground. It was dangerous, and power lines could be on the ground, so we weren't really allowed to go outside. And it wasn't too much fun to be in anyway. It was just ice everywhere. So, just know that it's okay if you need to step back away from this. It's quite good, and that's good for you to recognize that of yourself if that's what you need to do. And if you have friends in your life that are also, it's okay. It's okay for them to like back off and unplug from all this, because it can be. For the rest, for me, I'm kind of an adventurous type person, and I just love the weather so much that I'm going to keep coming back to it because it's what I love, and so other people are going to really enjoy it. and I'm one of those people. So, okay, that's it for weather tonight. I will look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. More than likely, I've been making morning posts. When I get up in the morning, I check all the, like I mentioned before, and I'll make a post on Reddit, and on the reddit.com/r/AthensGA weather, and that's where I'll do all my updates. And I also have a Facebook page, but just look for Reddit posts tomorrow, and I will definitely, more than likely, be on YouTube at some point tomorrow. I might do a live stream tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So have a good night, and take a nice hot bath tonight or shower tonight, tomorrow. Make sure you do that, because you may not have the ability to do that for a while after that. I hope not, but I hope tomorrow, literally hope Sunday it's just literally cold rain. Somehow these models are all wrong, and we're just going to get cold rain. I don't think that's going to happen, but fingers crossed. Talk to you soon.